Okay, we're going to begin class today. This is third period, and we're going to go through and list your 5-number summary from yesterday, and we're going to choose the height data to operate on. You got to do the box plot, and what I'm going to do is have you guys give me the 5-number summary we had as a class for height, and we're going to put it up here on the smartboard. Because third period's data, our class's data, was a little bit different than everybody else's. We took and added some sophomore data to our data, so we'd have a few more numbers to examine, a few more data items to examine than just 6. 6 is a very small sample size, so we made that adjustment yesterday, and I want to make sure we have the same 5-number summary. If you guys would just lay your assignment out for a second so I can walk around and see how you did on this. Okay, excellent. All right, and I'm seeing some good work there. Appreciate that you attempted it, and I'm going to point out some things here today. I'm going to do one of the categories. I'm going to use height, and so let's get our class statistics back up here on the 5-number summary. So I'm going to do 5-number summary. I'm going to list this here. All right, 5-number summary, and I'll just put third period. And so anyone that missed third period can watch this video and find out what we did in class today. Okay, so it is the 12th. Let me get the date up here, so that's good to see. All right, so for the 5-number summary for third period, all right, we have the min. All right, let's make sure everybody had the same number. Tabitha, give me the min that we had for this data set. 61. Okay, thanks. The quartile 1, and if you guys didn't have that, let's discuss that. Quartile 1, Tabitha, you had 63, thank you. Quartile 3, we had the median, which was 66. All right. The quartile 3, 69, and the max, we had 79. Okay, and that was our height data. Now, let's compare. Did everyone have that data? Let's go back and look and make sure we all recorded it the same yesterday. Do we have any discrepancies here? 61 through 63, 66, 69, 79. Any variance? Did anybody have an issue with the 5-number summary? Okay. Now, before you go to use that 5-number summary and create a box plot, we need to identify for outliers, okay? And I'm just going to list this process, the outlier process, all right? We need to know if we have any outliers before I go and draw that box plot, because if we had outliers, yesterday we practiced on our notes on the representing data, that if we had outliers, we didn't draw the whiskers to the outliers, okay? We would draw it to the last data item that was not an outlier, okay? And so we want to calculate the outliers. Who can help me calculate an outlier? What do we have to do? We have to find what first? Okay, the interquartile range, great. And she's indicating, okay, go and take quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And that'll give you the interquartile range. We need that in order to determine the outliers. So you guys can identify that that was 69 minus 63. So we had an interquartile range of 6. Thanks. Okay, so then I'm going to take, using that statistic, I'm going to take quartile 3 plus 1.5 times 6, and I'm going to determine if I have any outliers on that data set. Okay, so that Sean is telling me that's 78. Did anyone else have 78? Okay, let's double check that. If I take 1.5 times 6, so that would have been 9. That would have essentially been 9. All right, so 9 plus quartile 3. So she's right. That's 78. Did we have any data items outside of 78? We had one, didn't we? We had 79. Okay, we had 79. So I'll write this down then. 79 was an outlier. Okay, 79 is an outlier. All right, so that's possibly going to change the look of our box plot. Okay, how many in class today checked for outliers? Because that was one of the instructions. Okay, all right, so if you did that, you were on the ball. If you didn't, well, you missed the directive, and now's the time to fix it. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Quartile 1 minus 9, so that would have been 63 minus 9. Okay, 63 minus 9 would give us 54. Is that right? Check that for me, please. Did you get 54? Okay, so did we have any scores below 54? No. So we had one outlier on the high side. Okay, so let's go to our box plot, and let's construct the box plot here so that you can see this. Okay, constructing the box plot, what I'm going to do first, and this is something interesting that we found, or I found as I walked around at your assignment today. It's necessary to create a scale. Okay, without the scale, we said the box plots are pointless. They're not a good display without that scale. You can still see the 5-number summary, but it doesn't really show you anything. It doesn't show you spread or anything like that. What I'd like to do is see if I have an easy scale here, and I don't. Let me back up here and move my recorder over. Let's see here. What is this? Let me go gallery. We're going to select a number line if I can find one here, just to see if that would work better, and maybe not. Let's see here. Some pages. Let's see if there's a number line in there, quick and handy. Yeah, number line. Let's get a okay. And there's a number line. Let's see if there's a blank one. I'd rather have a blank one. What? Did you see one? I didn't see one there. Let's see that. So the number line, we'll just use the one we have, -10 to 10, and I'll change these numbers down here. That's all I wanted. Okay. And so we had our 5-number summary up there, and I'm going to transfer it to this page since I drug it in.
Do you unmute yourself?
I did. I don't know why I did, but I did. Okay, good. For anyone that's listening, we were just adding a number line here, and we were double checking to make sure my mic was on, so that's good. It's all good. But quickly, I'm going to transfer over to this page because this is a nicer number line. And what we're doing is demonstrating putting a scale to the box plot, the 5-number summary. And quick again, let's list that data quickly. Give me the min again, Tabitha. It's 61. The quartile 1 was, thank you. The median was, quartile 3 was 69, and the max was 79. And we identified that the max, we did the outlier calculation, 79 was an outlier. All right, 79 was an outlier, okay? Anything above 78 was an outlier. When we added on in there, so 79 was the outlier, and we did the outlier calculation, okay, back here on the previous page. Not that page. Yeah, there it shifted it. Anything higher than 78 was an outlier, so we've got that. Okay, so that was on the page. Okay, so I'm going to come back. Now, what I'd like to do is basically take out these numbers, okay, and I'm going to put in our numbers and put this on a scale. Now, as I walked around, I noticed some of you were missing a scale. All right. Without a scale, the box plot doesn't mean much. Okay. All right. So we want to enter these. Okay. All right. So I just scratched these out for now, and let's see if we can do our box plot. Looking at this quickly, our numbers go from 61 to 79. 61 to 79. What would you guys suggest for a scale? What kind of scales did you use? Okay, 60 to 80 she's suggesting to go to. Okay, that would be an appropriate scale. But how, the scale though, how would you count? Or do you want to count by tens? Okay, some of you are shaking your head no. Why wouldn't you want to count by tens? It's too much, right? The numbers are fairly close together, so 2 would be a good suggestion. Okay, so thank you for that suggestion. I would start at 60, right? Then I'd go to 62, right? 64, 66, all right? 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78. And I'm staggering like this so you can see it better. 80. Okay, and I don't actually use the whole baseline there. Okay. Now what I do, I'm going to start at 61, so that's halfway between 60 and 62, and I'm going to draw my vertical bar on my whisker. Okay. I'm going to go over and draw quartile 1 at 63, so that's halfway between, so that's right here. All right. Now, going over and doing the median is 66. That's right here. All right. Quartile 3 is 69. All right. Halfway between there. All right. And then 79 was the outlier. So in our data set, what was the next highest number within our set? And so I got to go back and look at somebody's paper here. 71 was the second largest. Okay, thank you for the assistance there. 71 was the second largest. So we're going to go here, and that'll be our last part of the whisker, and we'll just make the box. Okay. Now, drawing this out so you can see that, that's what your box plot should have looked like. All right, and I'm going to make my ends of my whiskers look a little smaller so that those are identifiable. Okay, and so that's a demonstration of what, an example of what your plot should have looked like. Okay, placing the box plot on a scale is the most important thing. All right, now 79 would be marked, and I almost forgot to mark 79. That's our largest data value. That would be a dot out here. Okay, you put that point out there. So you would not connect to that outlier. Okay, you would not connect. All right, now, so for those of you that didn't draw to a scale, you can go back and correct those other two categories. All right, because you're eventually going to turn that assignment in to me. So if you did it wrong, you can add to or change as we have our discussion today with the box plots. But I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go back and demonstrate the Schroeder website so that you guys have a tool at home you can use to check your box plots and other data displays that we're going to use in this class as we're talking about statistics. And so I'm going to leave this website now, or leave my example here, and you guys should have a nice layout of what the box plot should have looked like. I guess before I do that, though, the middle 50%, remember, is inside the box. And then the other thing I want to point out about this box plot is the same number of data items are on each side of this median. Okay, even though the median is shifted towards the lower side of the box, the same number of data entries are here as here. And I'm pointing out, all right, even though this side looks bigger than this side over here, all right, the same number of entries are there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move off to the website, and I'm going to go to this interactive website, and we answered some questions yesterday on this website using the canned data that was already there. That was already pre-programmed into the software. I'm sorry. Yes, you can hang on to that. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate for you how to enter your data into this box plotter so that you can use it at home when you're working on your homework, because I'm not going to be allowed to give you the graphing calculators to let you take home. There's not enough of them to give out per class. So what I'm going to do is allow you to use this at home if you have internet access, all right, or here at school. So what I'm going to do next, we just did the height data. Okay, so I'm going to help you out. I'm going to do the 10-step data and put that in and demonstrate that for you. Okay, and I'm going to need your assistance on that. I'm going to need your data. Okay, and so when we go to entering our own data into the Schroeder website, all right, all you need to do is select My Data. Like yesterday, we talked about gas mileage. Okay, and you remember these three categories: compact, midsize, and SUV cars. Okay, we looked at box plots on that information. Well, today I want to go back and show you how to use this box plotter to graph your data. And so the category is going to be, the data set will be My Data. All right, and you come down here and you just clear out, use the clear button, and then you enter your own data. Okay, and so I'm going to enter my data. Oh, my keypad, there we go. And we're going to enter our data. So now here's where I need assistance from you. Our data set yesterday, okay, our data set that you used would have been the Southmore data and our data. So it would have been probably second period. And your old data sheet's what I need from yesterday. The data sheet we used yesterday. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Kind of. Does somebody have a little clearer handwriting? Oh, yep, I'll take that one. Okay, thank you, though. All right, because I can't see the greatest, so that would be bad. Okay, so I'm going to bring my keypad down here, and I'm going to show you how to do this, and you guys can watch this so that you know how to use this at home. Also, I'll have the video posted on the website, so that if you forget how to use this, you can go back and view the video and refresh your memory on how to interact with the box plotter. But this is an interactive box plotter that you can use at home if you don't have a graphing calculator or TI Inspire. We're going to use the 10-step data. So the first entry was 15.75. So I'm going to type this in, 15.75. Okay. And I'm going to put a comma there because I also want to classify that data by what gender the person was. And so that person was a female. So I'm going to note that and move on. And each time you enter the data, you have to enter it the same way. So I'm doing a number, comma, and then the gender. And so you need to enter that data exactly like that, okay? Because if you don't, then it's not going to take it and it's going to throw you an error message. Okay, so the next 10-step data item is 16, and that was looking at another female, okay? And I'll hit return and go on to the next data item. The next one's 19, and this is in feet again. And thank you, that was a male, okay. And the next one is 10.92, and what is that? Female. Okay. We have 20. Male or female?
Male.
Thanks. Okay. And the next one is 14.42. And female. Okay, thank you. The next item would be 15.83. And that is a... Okay. 14.75, right? And that is a male. Okay. So we got that one recorded there. Okay. And then we have 15. And that is male. Okay. This is 5.92. Female. Okay, thank you. We have 7.92. We have 17.75. Okay, thank you. We have 20.8 appears. Okay. Oh, this is just 14.7, isn't it? Male. Okay, thank you. And the last one is 13.2. That's also male. Okay. Now, you can then scroll back up and check your data. And what I would suggest in checking here is just to make sure we have a comma between the number and the gender on each one. Okay. 10. 10 data items. I think we have them. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to update our box plot. Okay. And what it did then is took our data and it organized it, summarized it for us. All right. So it's equivalent to the TI Inspire. All right, it works similar to that, right? Okay. Now, let's look and see how we can interact with our data. First of all, if I press the Show Statistics button, that shows the categories and then the 5-number summaries. So one more time, if you wanted to know the 5-number summary so you can draw your box plots onto your graph paper or onto your notebook paper, then you just press the Show the Statistics button and you have the 5-number summary broken into categories. And we categorize by male or female, okay, because we want to make a comparison that way. So there you can see our data. Okay. I'm not going to ask any questions about that yet. We're just going to navigate around here. Now let's say I don't want to pay attention to the gender. I just want to note the overall data. I want to lump them together. Then if you select Graph All Data, that lumps your categories together as just one general category that we'd be talking about. And this was the category we were talking about was 10 steps. So you could type 10 steps in here so you know what the what our data is. 10 steps. So I'm going to type that in. So that gives me what we're a title or heading of what we're talking about. All right. So that's our 10-step data, and that tells you what that is. Okay. But if we go back to category, then it splits it out like that. Okay. And then we can make some comparisons. Now, the way we did it yesterday, though, is I simply ask you to graph all the data. All right, and so there's what your box plot looks like. If I click Uncover Outliers, I want to demonstrate this. Oops. Yeah, that didn't work like I anticipated. Let's see here. There, I guess you have to select it like that. Okay. The 10-step data, we can see we have an outlier here, and it uncovered it for us. So you didn't have to do the calculation if you use this. All right? Or another way you can use it is to check your work. Does that make sense now? So I showed you how to go to this website. This website will be linked to my website, so you'll see a link for this on my website, and you can access this. All right? Now, let's go to Show Statistics. Show Statistics. Okay? Let's see, again, if your box plot looks like mine and your 5-number summary is this. So we entered all the data. So double check. Make sure we had 15 data items. Okay? The min was 5.92. The quartile was 13.2. The median 15. Quartile 3, 17.75. And the max 20.8. Okay, so that's what we're going to use it for. Now, on this data set, you'll notice that we had some decimals in there. All right, and so if you go to check out the scale here, all right, I need someone to help me out. What's the scale? What's the size of the spacing here that they used? All right, what was that spacing? All right, would you guys please take a calculator and subtract, take your calculators out, subtract 7.11 minus 4.432. And that'll tell you what your scale was.
432?
4.432, yeah. Subtract those for me. And that will tell you what your scale is. What'd you get over there? Can somebody give that to me? 2 point. Okay, 78. All right. Well, yeah, I'd get 79. I'm not sure how you type that in, Megan, but 2.679 is the scale then, okay? Now you can set this scale differently, okay? If, let's just say we wanted to go to the nearest tenth so it was a little bit easier, or the nearest whole number, we could set this to what? If we went to the nearest whole number, how would this round? That would round to what? 3. Okay, so I'm going to close my ink layer here. You could go set this horizontal scale, all right, differently. All right, the min we could have set at since the smallest value was, and I don't recollect. Let me cancel out this for a second. Go back to statistics. What was our smallest value? 5.92. So roughly, if we went back to 5, okay, we could do this a little bit differently. We could set this so that our min was, you know what, actually it's lower than 5. I'm going to set it at 4. Okay, that would be a good spot to set it. Set it at 4. All right, I'm assuming, okay, we can set that to 4. Okay, and our max, what was our maximum value on that data set again? Help me out. It appears it was like over 20, so I'm going to set it to 21. What's that?
It was 23.8.
Thanks. So I'm going to set it to 21. All right. And Megan, you said it was 20.8. Okay, so we set it to 21. And we got our defaults there. And let's set that. Okay. Let's hit close. I don't know. Just checking here. There we go. Now it's set. All right. And you can see what it looked like. The max. So you can adjust your graph there a little bit, okay? And the horizontal scale, I was just seeing if we could change that. Well, if we set the auto scale, it goes back to what it did before. But if we set our horizontal scale, okay, I want to set that to 4. Okay, but you see what I'm doing? You can play with this and get this to set at home the way you want it, okay? And you essentially have your own box plotter, all right? Yeah, you think? Okay, well, we may have to adjust, you're right. Okay, 21, all right, and if we set this, now I wonder if I can come here and set this real quick. That still didn't adjust it. All right. Okay, enough said. You know how to enter your data. You know how to look at the box plot, and it'll plot it for you automatically, or you can set it and you can interact with that. Okay, so that completes our demonstration here. And you guys have seen how to use the box plotter to do your homework at home. Okay, now that gives us an opportunity now to do the following exercises today. I have a new set of questions here for you. I know it's Wednesday, but we're going to get started doing our box plot questions, and I'll just direct you to first, if you did your box plots wrong for today, all right, if you did your box plots wrong for height, 10-step, and wingspan, I want you to correct that first. When you get it corrected, put your name on it and turn it into me so I can grade it, okay, and give you a score. And then what I want you to do is work with your partner complete this following worksheet. And it's titled Box Plot Activity Questions. All right. So I'm going to put your name on it. And I'm going to navigate away from that and see if we can find this. Here it is. Okay, this is the worksheet we're going to work on now. And it says the instruction is collect the following data from all classmates, recording it in a table like the one below. Okay, and think carefully about your answer. And be careful to record information accurately. All right? And so we're going to classify by gender again, so male, female, but we're going to use these categories from the cumulative lists that I gave you, okay? So there's about 46 people that were basically where we collected data. So you're going to take this data that I gave you today, and you are going to enter it into your new spreadsheet that you're going to create, all right? And that's back here, okay? And there's a spreadsheet there for you to fill in the data on those three categories. And then you have to answer some questions, these 6 questions, and build box plots for each of those categories to answer those questions. Okay, so demonstrating here, you're going to need a box plot for, all right, boy, girl, male, female, heel to toe data. All right, then you're going to need to compare the wrist circumference by boy, girl. Okay, and then wrist to elbow length by boy, girl, and answer these questions down here that are listed. All right, now hopefully that describes thoroughly for you what you've got to do. To answer the questions, though, you got to build the box plots. And the box plots you're going to build by gender, boy, girl, heel to toe. So you guys need to summarize the data. So you're going to need to get the data put into your spreadsheets accordingly, okay, so that you can then use a piece of technology to assemble that information. And what I'll do once I stop the video here is allow you to use the Schroeder website if we have enough time. I don't know, we have about 8-9 minutes left, so we'll see if we get that far. But what you can do today is organize your spreadsheet that's on your worksheet, okay, and get that done. Of course, it's Wednesday, so wherever we get to at the end of the period, we're done. Tomorrow in class, then we'll complete this activity. Does that make sense to everyone? All right, so organize your data, get your data summarized onto one spreadsheet. That's your first item of business, and then once you get that done, you guys are welcome to use my website up here on the screen.